so many years ago, there was only one professor. Who knows the professor name which was there? Professor Gorola Moses. Is he with us? Only one. But now, you can just listen to where we have been. Allow me, in this honor, sir. If these guys went through here, I don't know why they call the word, introduced to you, Lieutenant Colonel, epidemiologist, Ben Nsaju. Lieutenant Colonel, epidemiologist, Ben Nsaju. He's a serving officer. Today we have left our uniforms behind. Lieutenant, was I the chairman of your wedding? You see, I know them, these guys here. They know me very well. Now, allow me with all due respect to say these few words. Our church is organized that we have a head office. It is based in the US. It is called General Conference. It divides into 13 regional divisions, regional offices. We call them divisions. East and Central Africa Division, whose headquarters are in and Central Africa Division, whose headquarters are in Nairobi. They are about 12 countries, ranging from Djibouti up to Tanzania, Eastern Congo, South Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia. All those countries, they belong to the division. At the division, we have a president called the division president. Right now, it's called Dr. Blasius Ruguri. Now, each country has a leader which reports to that. So Uganda will report to ECD. Uganda is called Uganda Union Mission Pastor Moses Maka, who is not here. The next in command, Pastor Moses Maka, who is not here. The next in command is called the Executive Secretary. That is Pastor Nicholas Bitamazile. And with all due respect, allow me that a few months from now he will be called Pastor Dr. Bitamazile because he's finishing his PhD. Allow me also to introduce to you, he used the word, his worship, my worship. Justice Christopher Madrama is a judge in the Supreme Court of Uganda. These are members, just to represent us, There are too many, but a few. Like, allow me also to add on Professor Eileen Andia Biralo from lecturer of Makerere University. I told you I don't have time, I don't know how to differentiate them. Allow me to, all our security here, all the VIPs in this nation, for this matter, they are managed by Senior Superintendent of Police Nakin to Jacqueline. Where are you? We didn't want uniforms. There is no VIP who was a person. They all report to that one. As long as you know VVIPs in Uganda, that is their boss. Staff officer, VIP protection unit, counterterrorism. Now we have Professor. This one is, I left him here when he was my boss. He was my, I don't know what is it Professor Jackson Mwakale. Who doesn't know Jackson Mwakale? Pastor. Professor. He's there with us. Okay? Then I have, now those days our PhDs were just for a limited few. Dr. Saul Mubanda Muyigwa, where are you? If you last saw him with he's a doctor, PhD. I'm bringing some of the few guys here. Now, they told you nothing of these things you use. If this thing came through the right thing, somebody had to sign for it to enter Uganda because we don't manufacture them. These things here. That is my brother, Abel Kagumire, Commissioner, Customs, URA. Where are you? All these guys, I'm trying to motivate those who are stayed up there. Those of you who are down here, it is okay, you're already in their league. Those of you who are stayed up, these guys were once Musdaa members. Now, the boss of African region director of the Adventist World Radio, this man is there on the plane. I don't know what time you landed, but you're welcome. My elder Emmanuel Ogwalo and Mrs. Where are you? To have that gentleman, you are lucky. I think he landed because he landed and continued moving. He's always here and there and there and so on. Now, I have members of parliament. Members of parliament. Am I allowed to say? But the chairperson of the Adventist members of parliament, the SDA parliamentary chairperson, is here. Is Elder Tumwesije Joseph, MP, Bugangaizi, South. You are welcome with us. That's a member of parliament. Allow me to introduce your member. With all due respect, Honor, introduce your other members of parliament. I don't want to skip. They might have come in and I haven't seen them.
Thank you very much. To my left, which is my right, is our brother Kamukama Davis. He represents one constituency district of Nyangabu. Please stand and wave. If you may not stop me from going further, I'll also introduce our chief guest, who is also a member of our fellowship, and the Deputy Secretary General of the Meta NRM Party. She's also a member of our fellowship. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have missed many. There are many members of parliament. They just didn't come, but we missed them. That's why I wanted him to introduce. Now, they have the others. I will come to them. They have introduced the project. Associates, I ask you a question. Is it possible for us to adopt that project? Let me hear the what? Yes. Let me see the hands that say we can adopt that project. Wow. May God bless you. Now, who has something to say? Because I'm now going to the guest of honor associates. Do you have something to say about that project? I'm not saying fundraise, but who has something to say? Now, that project, we can do something. In that regard, dear ladies and gentlemen, they have given you, if you agree that we take it up, they have given you an envelope. This one here. If you don't have it, I'll ask the deacons to give it to you. As we shall be going through the talkings and whatsoever, we are going to use that one. They have also given you a pledge card, so that you can go, you may not have come in the right way, but you can have this card. That place, I was having a brief from the team. They want to make it a real hospital. And it will be Musdaa Hospital in Kayunga. You follow the road going to Galilaya, Bale Road. The land is already there. And we can have it. And we can have others to help us to add on. Who knows? Professor can say, Professor VC can say, I'm connecting you with these guys here, the funders. And they clap for him. Yeah, you know these guys. He can say, yes, because it is his baby, Musdaa project. You say, I have here Musdaa guys. As you think of this, you can do this. And even you that have mentioned around and so on. But I had some of you, you didn't write here. Where did you pass? But I will always mention you when I see you. So you also have, among the staff members, Dr. Ochan Moses, PhD, kindly rise up and wave to the people from a medical school there. Very many of you, when I see you, I will bring you. Why do I mention this? To represent us. And if I started telling you MDs we have here, managing directors, we will not finish. If I started on managing directors, you will not finish. If I started on consultants, you will not finish. By the way, I'm also doing. Now for me, I write books. If you have read books like Living Positive in Negativity, Life is Lived Twice, The Hustler, I'm the writer. You've been looking for that gentleman. Those of you who are very good members of Musdaa, I like all of you to keep joining. I saw somebody, is it the guy? I'm the guy who is a regular visitor there to tell the people what to do in life. Now we have very many here. We have entrepreneurs. We have people you cannot mention. My friend, where are you? Major Kojo, kindly rise up and raise the people. He's there, man in uniform. Thank you for being with us. I have very many, but I will not finish them. If you want them, come to me. I'm their coordinator. Thank God that I know most of their contacts. Professor Rahwire, Did I see you here from Musdaa University? Oh, I saw somebody. He's a professor, big man in Musdaa University. So, use this envelope and do something if you have come with cash. We did not tell you that there is fundraising. But if you came with it, it is for that project. It has 3 areas. Musdaa project, if you want to help on local church expenses, you also put cash and put the total. We are going to collect it after the guest of honor has talked to us. We can do what we can. Kindly give us your contact on this envelope. All associates, write your name. Give us your contact. We promise you your contact will not be misused. But we just want to have a database of you, the associates, so we can reach. Former president, just raise your hands. Former presidents, you can see the hands. Very many of them. Very many of them. So we want all of us to be here. And then we shall reach. Kindly give us your phone contact. One person I haven't introduced, now I want to introduce her. Those days we used to say, Madam, Madam. Now we no longer say Madam. We are blessed to have the presence of the Dean of Students of Makerere University. We have the entire team here. Now, he sent us a representative, moreover our own. We used to say Madam, Mrs. Now we no longer say. Now we say Dr. Penina Aligawe Sakabeng. She is with us, and I want to welcome her on the podium. Allow me also to welcome the president of Musdaa with our representative Musdaa. Kindly also come forward. She is representing the Dean of Students of Makerere University. She's going to speak to us. After speaking to us, she will invite for us the VC. The VC will invite for us the guest of honor. Who knows? I don't know what they will be saying when they are leaving, but that's the project in hand. Me, I don't know. I'm just a Musdaa coordinator. And so, before I leave this podium, allow me give this mic in the presence of our Dean of Students and our patron here to the Musdaa president. They want to perform something very small, and then we go through the speeches.
Yes, we have some tokens from Musdaa to our guests. Okay, our first gift goes to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Nawangu.
For purposes of Musdaa, it is themselves to hand over. They agreed. Musdaa president and her team, they hand over. A hand clap for them. Vice Chancellor said that lady is a big lady to us in Musdaa because she is our president in this university. Yes.
The next person is our guest of honor,
Honorable Rose Namayanja. You
Yes.
can.
Honor.
By the way, she's a big lady. Clap for her. They will tell you the title when they are introducing her.
Our next gift goes to Chief Justice Madrama.
Justice Madrama.
Justice, sorry. And our next one goes to Professor Andia Irene.
Thank you so much. We know we are students most of the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, guest of honor, forgive us when we don't go through protocol as things are done. Now, this is a request from Musdaa. After you have gone, you requested me. Kindly come back. They request that all of you have gotten the gifts. You come in front and they stand with you for a photo for their album. So come back, please. We are students, so when they request, let us accept their request. Cameramen, do your job. Cameramen, where are you? So we are standing like that. Cameramen, do your best. We believe, cameramen, you are done. Unless otherwise, I hope you are not using a Nokia phone. Thank you so much. We are done, all of us. So allow me hand this mic to our Dean of Students. Madam Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you. Happy Sabbath. God is good all the time. Wow, and that's His what? His nature. I'm privileged to stand before you as one of the Musdaa members. I don't consider myself an alumni because I'm still a Musdaa member. I think I'm the longest one. Musdaa is 50 years, and since I joined Musdaa, it's 40 years. I'm happy today that I'm the Dean of Students for the hour. I've been delegated by the Dean of Students, Dr. Winfred Namuwonge Kabumbuli, who sent you greetings. And I'll read her speech because she said I should pass this message as it is. The chief guests, the Vice Chancellor, all the dignitaries and invited guests of the day. As the Dean of Students at Makerere University, it's my utmost pleasure to welcome you to this remarkable occasion, celebrating the 50 years homecoming of the Seventh-day Adventist Student Association. Today, we gather not only to commemorate a significant milestone, but also to reflect on the invaluable contributions Musdaa has made to the university community over the past 5 decades. From the reports and records submitted to my office, I would like to appreciate and thank the student leadership of Musdaa for the effort in bringing together students for a cause and instill the purpose in their existence. Musdaa stands as a beacon of faith and service within our community. For over 50 years, this association has been a cornerstone of spiritual support, mentorship, and community engagement for our students. With over 400 registered members, Musdaa impact extends far beyond its official membership, reaching students, staff, and well-wishers alike. One of the hallmarks of Musda's mission is its commitment to guiding and supporting our students, particularly during their formative years. Through initiatives such as the Freshers Orientation Program, Musdaa provides our incoming students with the essential tools and support they need to navigate the challenges of university life. By laying a solid foundation of values and principles, Musdaa ensures that our students are equipped to thrive both academically and personally. Beyond Orientation Week, bringing the new students to one fold, providing them with the basics of campus survival to excellence in education, Musdaa continues to mentor and empower our students through various programs and initiatives. From leadership training seminars to relationship talks led by experienced professionals, Musdaa nurtures the holistic development of the students, preparing them for future leadership roles and guiding them in making informed life choices. The alumni days serve as a testament to the enduring bond between the past and present members, providing invaluable insights and networking opportunities for our students as they embark on their own journey. Furthermore, through initiatives such as the Achievers Club, Musdaa celebrates the diverse talents and abilities of our students. By fostering a culture of creativity, collaboration, and excellence, Musdaa empowers students to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to society. Looking forward, as we celebrate the rich legacy of Musdaa, let us all look ahead with optimism and determination. May this milestone serve as a reminder of the transformative power of faith, service, and community. Together, let us continue to uphold the values of Musdaa and work together towards a future where all students can thrive and succeed. In closing, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Musdaa on this occasion. May your dedication and commitment continue to inspire a generation of students to come. Thank you. It's unfortunate that Dean couldn't make it, but she's well represented. And at this juncture, I take this opportunity to invite here our Vice Chancellor, Professor Nawangwe, who supports us remotely. Professor Nawangwe, you are most welcome.
I don't think that I support Musdaa remotely. I am here. Our guest of honor, the Honorable Rose Namayanja, my Lord Justice Madra, honorable members of Parliament, all the dignitaries, the associates, the students, our gallant students, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to be here this afternoon to celebrate with you the 50 years of Musdaa. $50 years is not a small figure, especially as I realize that Musdaa was born at a very difficult time in the history of Uganda, when at that time many Christians thought they should change their religion in order to remain safe. So we must pay tribute to those who in those very challenging times decided to start this association. I was myself somehow a victim of the circumstances at that time, and I ended up leaving the country to go and study in a country which I think many of the students don't know that it existed. And that was in the Soviet Union. Because many of these people were born after the Soviet Union collapsed. So I ended up in the Soviet Union. And in the Soviet Union, religion was not allowed. Actually, the communists, as they thought they were, said that communism would never succeed unless the myth of God was removed from the minds of men. And all young people who were seen near a church, most of the churches were closed, they were banned, but in every city they left one church for, they actually only allowed the elderly people to go there. But if you're a young person and you're seen near a church, you would be taken to a mental hospital, because they would think you must have some problem with your mental health. So for Musdaa to survive that period and to grow to the numbers that the elder was saying, I think is a very good achievement, and I must congratulate you. Musdaa has done a lot. Of course, now I'm here as Vice Chancellor, so I speak about Makerere. Musdaa has done quite a lot for Makerere University, and a lot of the Musdaa members, or maybe some are Seventh Day, but they are not Musdaa members, have contributed greatly to this university. And I will just give a few examples. During COVID, we lost one of our youngest professors, one of the most promising professors for the university, Professor Vanada. He succumbed to COVID, and the university lost a lot. But by the time he passed, he had been here for a very short time, but he left a mark in the university, especially in the area of research. He was one of our most proficient researchers. He had just won, I think, the only one outside South Africa chair, what they call Oliver Tambo Research Chair. He had just won that, and then unfortunately he succumbed to COVID. But there are other people, of course, and Professor Mwakali was recognized. Happy to see you, Professor Mwakali. Yeah. Professor Mwakali was the first professor of engineering at Makerere University. Yeah. At a very early stage, a very early age, he became the first full professor of engineering at Makerere University in its 100-year history. So, but then he left soon after becoming a professor, and asked him, where are you going? Where are you going? But as I drive to my home village in Busia, I go over a very nice bridge, which has become some kind of tourist attraction. And he actually went to be the main engineer for the Nile Bridge now. Yeah. And we are all very proud of the bridge and proud of your work, Professor. Dr. Kavenge is an international figure. Sometimes she comes to me and I say, where are your bodyguards? Because this lady is in the presidency of all the associations around the world. All the time she's being elected to be, you are in East Africa, you are in Africa, you are at the international stage. In all those, her competence has been recognized, and she is helping the world to develop sports. And of course, sports at Makerere University. And I think one of the most hardworking and resilient people. At one time I asked you, where do you get all this energy? Because I'll tell you that she did bid to host the World University Netball Championships. And of course we didn't know. But she did that and brought it, and then she came and said, you know, we are going to host these games, but there are no facilities. We must get facilities to host the games. Now, of course, we didn't have those facilities at Mackay University. So I said, why don't we go to Lugogo? She said, Lugogo does not have the standard to host those games. So I said, then maybe we tell the organizers we can't host. She said, we can't do that, it will embarrass us. So she pressed until we wrote to the president, you know, we are hosting this, but we don't have the facilities. Anyway, eventually the government released all the money we needed at that time. And the first indoor stadium, I should say at Makerere, but maybe of the standard she wanted in Uganda, was built by the UPDF Engineering Brigade in a record time of 40 days. Because we had to host the games, and the games were hosted there before the indoor stadium was even completed. But Uganda won. The first guild president, who is a Musdaa member. This morning, I should have started with an apology. I came late. I should have been here to welcome the chief guest. But I had been told that I should come here at 12 noon. Then, as I was trying to check the time on, I saw a message from Penina saying, we are waiting for you. And that was just 11. So I responded and said, but I was told to come at 12 noon. At the same time, I saw a missed call from His Excellency Nsereko. Then I said, now, why is Nsereko calling me? Maybe he's trying to tell me there's a conspiracy by some students to do something. Because I didn't know that he's the 7th day. He has never told me. Okay. Then when I came and I saw him, I said, that's why he was calling. Okay. But I must apologize, Honorable Rose Namayanja, that I came late. So there are many people, professors have been introduced, and other people who have done a lot and are doing a lot for Makerere University. And we must thank them. But most of all, I must thank Musdaa for being my partner in pacifying Makerere University. At one time, Makerere had become like a battlefield. And it was terrible. And we said we must put an end to this. Because I don't know if many of you are aware, we are losing a lot of young people to drugs. But people are not talking about it. Now, if you allow drugs to come into Makerere, and these young people get spoiled, then you have no country. If Makerere is not there, and it is just, you know, young people who are addicted to drugs, then you have no future for this country. So, I'm happy that among all the people I suspended, and because I actually made my profession to suspend hooligans. Among all those I suspended, I have never seen a Musdaa member. The most peaceful guild presidency has been the guild presidency of Nsereko. He never came once to my office to complain about anything, to say, you know, we must do this, this is not happening. He would only come to say, what should we do about this and that? And that has been the most peaceful presidency during all the time I have been Vice Chancellor. And I must thank you, Honorable Nsereko, although you are always wearing red ties, and most people associate red ties with some trouble. But He has been such a gentleman. I came late and missed a bit of the very powerful sermon by the preacher. And I could say, yeah, that's the quality Makerere produces. But although you concealed it, you had quite a little bit of criticism for Makerere's administration. Luckily, I knew about all those things. You said you attempted. You actually went to court and took you took the university to court. And at that time, I think I was the head of department. And I was not in the main administration. But I still knew what was happening, and there was talk. Now these students have taken us to court, and everybody was panicking, what is going to happen? So when it was somehow resolved in a way that didn't damage the university, everybody had a deep sigh of relief. So you didn't just attempt, you actually gave the university a lot of problems. But thank you for taking that route instead of shouting away. The university is a secular university. We have people from all walks of life here, from all beliefs, maybe all the beliefs in the country and beyond, in the world. And so we always say it is a secular university, and we have to work in a very balanced manner. So we exercise total freedom of worship at Makerere University. I am just surprised, Elder, when you say you even started praying under trees. With all these buildings we have here, why did you do that? And nobody ever came to say, we have a problem like this. Please, now that you have a home where you are comfortable, maybe we will say, but in case you are not comfortable, but I saw that you are very comfortable from the way you talked, I am also happy that you are now comfortable. We would like every student who comes to Makerere to leave the university with a good image of the university. We believe that it is this generation of students that is going to finally emancipate the people of Africa from marginalization. And that's why we are doing everything we are doing. That the students should be disciplined. They should know that for 1,500 years Africa has been marginalized, and that they, through their education, are the only ones who will have the power to emancipate our continent. And that's why I'm happy that the Musdaa members are disciplined. I'm happy that they go out there and become good leaders for our nation. Thank you very much for inviting me. And once again, congratulations. It is now my honor and pleasure to invite our guest of honor to address us.
Happy Sabbath. Happy day. The Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, my Lord Justice Madrama, distinguished Musdaa associates and Musdaa members, allow me ride on the already established protocol and say all protocol observed. It's a pleasure for me to be here, to be back home. And home does not only mean Makerere University, because we always come around, but to be back home at Musdaa. And I want also to congratulate ourselves for the 50 years of Musdaa. And like the Vice Chancellor has said, that it was born at a time of immense challenges in the country, not only political at the time, but I also want to tell you that that's a time when the SDA faith was also abolished during those times. So it was really a challenging time to see that we have reached 5 decades. We can only say Ebenezer. I want to thank the leadership and the coordinator of the Musdaa Associates for organizing this homecoming. And if they were to introduce everyone who is here among the associates, we would spend the whole day, because they are distinguished leaders in various aspects of our society in this room. I was just checking whenever I would look up there when the camera took us to the audience, I would see various people that are here and are doing great things, not only for the church. We have pastors, we have elders, we have distinguished leaders in civil service, in the academia, and all aspects of our lives. I want to thank Pastor Bitamazire for a very captivating sermon, and they could not have a better choice for today's message than somebody who was born spiritually in Musdaa. So thank you so much for that. And as you were speaking, I was reflecting about my life and how my journey has been, and it really spoke to, I mean, it resonated with what you were saying. Vice Chancellor, I want to thank you so much for the work you are doing for the university, for the great efforts you have put in, and for the initiatives that you are bringing in the university, and also for being the most IT savvy Vice Chancellor. Because even when we do not, there's a lot, of course, that goes on in the conventional media, but you have embraced social media very, very productively, that we get to know every aspect of what goes on in the university, and particularly at management level. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank His Excellency Nsereko for doing a great work as you lead the students. Of course, we were unhappy at the time as a party that Reddy had won, and we were like, okay, we lost and it's okay. But the next Sabbath, I saw Musdaa welcoming him, and I was comforted that at least we have an SDA for a guild president. I really want to thank you. And Vice Chancellor, what you see in him is what SDA politicians do. We embrace value-based leadership. And regardless of the political persuasions, I will talk about it later, you are comforted that you are leading with somebody who is guided from above. I'm glad to see my president then. Dr. Muigwaso was our president here when I was a member of Musdaa, and many of those that have gone through here have either become elders in the church or pastors and doctors and many other disciplines. Makerere plays a very, very significant role in shaping the direction of our country. All our leaders that we have today, over 98% or 99%, have gone through Makerere. Leaders in the various disciplines have gone through Makerere, and as the preacher said, it shapes people's destinies, it determines our dreams, but most importantly, it brings clarity of purpose. It brings clarity of purpose, and by the time a student comes to university and the time he or she leaves, he will have an idea of what excuse me, of what he or she wants to be. And for the members of Musdaa, Musdaa becomes the bridge between the university time and the world that we go into. And like I said, I will use my experience. These days, I usually tell young people, when I meet them in schools, I always have talks with the students. And I tell them that when you join the university, you will live a life that you have never lived before. And still you live a life that you will never live again. You have never lived it before, because before you come to university, there are a number of restrictions here, the do's and don'ts. Somebody must check whether you have your notes. If it is time for break, it is break. If it's time for preps, it has to be preps and everything. So you do not determine most of the time where you are supposed to be, but it is determined by the administration. But when you come to the university, they just give you the timetable. It is self-leadership. If you are a resident, they will give you your hall of residence, but nobody will go there to find out whether you are there or not. If you are in a hostel where you are staying, nobody is, come in, go. If it's time for academics, do that. So it's self-leadership. But that you will never live that life again, because the moment you leave university, they begin looking at you as somebody who has concluded that path. You are looking for jobs, or you have already got jobs, and in those jobs, there are deadlines to beat, there are reports to make, there's a time you must be in office, and you're supposed to leave. So you again begin following the standard operating procedures in those areas. So the only time that a young person has to shape or determine his future is the time you spend at a higher institution of learning. So students come here when they do not know much. Their world outlook is in informative stages. And those that belonged or belong to Musdaa, for me, it acted as a bridge. I do not come from an SDA family. I was baptized in my senior 2 at Light College Katikamu, and I've seen my teacher, Pastor Kasumba is here. He used to teach me math and physics at Light College Katikamu. So I had never been, I had never attended an SDA church or Sabbath. I didn't know what goes on in the traditional SDA church. And the school setting, of course, is a chapel setting. We know what we do there and everything. So when I came at the university, I didn't even know where to start from. And then I used to go, before I knew that there was Musdaa, I used to go to the Adventist Center. But even then you would reach there and you just find yourself kind of lost because you do not know anybody there. You just go in and sit in and then come out. But Musdaa provided a grounding for me that we were fellowshipping together with the students, people of the same way of life, student life, and it helped me to understand or to be grounded in my faith more than I had come in. And by the time I left university, I had determined, I had known what I wanted to be, incidentally. And I was very, very serious on it. And by God's grace, I have achieved it beyond what I ever imagined. And it still goes back to the SDA faith, because in the SDA faith, in the chapels that we go through, I learned the art of speaking before people as a chapel prefect at Light College Katikamu, because I could preach. And so when I reached Makerere, the issues of standing up to speak before people was not a big deal. I already knew, I already had developed that confidence to speak before people. So when I came in here, it was, I think, the first year that the University Council decided that every year students should be represented at the faculty boards, as they called them. And in my first, each year would have 2 people to be represented. I mean, to represent the year. I was in Faculty of Arts, and when they said we want a male and female, besides that, at that time when you did BA, students would say that you are below average. The slangs at universities. So I was the first year and below average. And that's a year when there were hostels. That's a year when also private sponsorship started. That was 95, I think. 94, 95. There were very few hostels, around 8 hostels. So you would come on government sponsorship, but that the university would still pay for your hostel accommodation if you are a non-resident. We used to call them non-residents. Many of you remember. So I was admitted as, on the notes board I saw my name, Rose Namayanja, BA bracket NR. And NR would mean non-resident. And those who were residents would complete it as near rejected. So you can imagine you are below average and near rejected. But, and you are with the students who have gone to these first world schools. But the confidence that you come with from an SDA institution that trains you, the esteem that you come with that trains you that you have what it takes, that you are created in God's image, and that you can do everything through Christ who strengthens you. So I contested, I put up my hand, and we were a number of us. They did the counting, after we had spoken, I want to believe I was better than many of those that contested. And my first leadership role I got here was to be one of the representatives of the students on the Faculty of Arts Board. And I became active there. I became active in the Geography Society. Somehow I got interested in public affairs. And at that time, that was the constitution making, there was a constitution making process. And I used to read newspapers a lot. And there was a debate at the University Hall Quadrangle. I would see many ministers coming in, CA delegates by then, ministers on both sides of the aisle, the political aisle. And I had understood, of course, the politics of government and the opposition side. And as always the case, Makerere is not always very, very friendly with the government side. So we all went with the flow. And we would hear the late Cecilia Ogwal speak, the Honorable Richams, and others. And then, of course, there was the late Noble Mayombo and the rest. So one time we went for that debate. And I'm saying this to show you that whatever I have attained and anything I will ever attain started from here. So on that day, the motion of the debate was that the constitution making process is a total flop and poses great danger to national unity, peace, and development. So I went with my friend, whom we stay with at the hostel, but also studied together. We sat in the audience, people spoke, and they opened up the debate to the audience, and largely it was contributors from the male gender. And then the chair of the debate asked if there is any lady who can contribute. We want ladies also to contribute. So I put up my hand, and my friend put it down. Said, "Gwerozo ogenda kwogera kibino." Gwerozo ogenda kwogera bikiwano. As she put down this hand, I put up the second one, because I believed I also have an idea and my opinion must be heard. So when I stood, and of course I tested Makerere, then I said, "I'm Rose Namayanja, BA1. And they're like, fresher. But after the submission, we concluded, and some gentleman came to me, asked me which hall I was staying in. And because I had debated on the opposition side, so I was like, these people asking me, maybe they are looking for me. I said, I stay in Africa. Said, which room? D9. And I didn't know whether even D9 existed, because I had never been to Africa. So they looked for me for quite some time. But by coincidence, 2 weeks later, I found Joseph Luzige, because he was the one who was chairing that debate. I found him at the Arts Quadrangle. And he told me, "Namayanja, I've been looking for you." And I'm like, "Is there a crime I committed or what?" He said, "No, Dr. Semogerere wants to see you." I said, "What is the problem? For me to see a minister for what?" And so the next, we arranged and we went at the CA, where the CA was being conducted, and he wasn't there. We met the late Anthony Sekoyama, who was the Secretary General of DP. And that's how I started my politics. I just found myself going. We started the Uganda Young Democrats with the Mabikes and the rest. And as they say, the rest is history. But I just wanted to bring that to show you that it all started from here. And when I joined the second year, regardless of being a below average student, as they called us, and regardless of being nearly rejected, I said I want to be the guild president of this university. Dr. So, you remember. I actually contested for guild, and after nominations, I was the only girl, and they're like, really? I said, no problem, I don't mind. For me, I know I have what it takes. And of course, I didn't win, but I joined the cabinet and became a member of the Students' Guild. And that's how I started associating and networking with the high and mighty, if I may, and one thing leads to the other. So by the time I left Makerere University, I knew that I wanted to be a national leader. I started going, in second year when I was a guild minister for women affairs, I started going to the Strangers Gallery in the CA. I attended the Strangers Gallery, I attended the gallery in Parliament, I would see young people speak, I would see women speak, and I'm like, we have space here. And that's how I joined politics and went for youth politics, and then became a youth member of Parliament. Youth politics in the village, because I knew that was the easiest way to achieve my goal. So after youth MP, then woman MP twice, and then I ceased being an elected MP, and that's how I find myself here in the positions that I hold today. But I just wanted to say that it all started from Makerere. Now, how does Musdaa come in there? Many of us, especially of the SDA faith, we do not do so much politics. For a long time, there was only one MP in Parliament, and I want to thank Elder Tumwesije and the team that they have really come up. We now have 2 elders in Parliament, 2 church elders in Parliament, and the fellowship is quite strong. But because you know that God knew what you are supposed to be even before you were created in your mother's womb, and that there are beliefs that you espouse of the SDA faith. Politics has challenges just like any other discipline. In any other office you will go to, only that this one is more public. But the SDA faith and Musdaa created spiritual grounding for me at the time, that even when they abuse you while campaigning, you do not respond the same way. Even when they betray you as you campaign, you know what to put your strength on. You do not abuse people, you do not, this business of an eye for an eye is not what we believe in. So that spiritual grounding helped me to be in leadership, to be in politics with values, with the spiritual values that I espouse. There is a lot of, during campaigns, because the spiritual grounding gives you some level of commitment and contentment, that you know that whatever they do, if God wills that I'm going to win this election, I will win it. And if I don't cry over it, because it was not God's plan that I will be the one to win. So that grounding and that sense of finality, that nothing can happen, and whatever happens anyway, you know that there is a supreme God that will be there for you. So I've been able to navigate the political waters from the time I said here to where I am, but knowing that there is God who guides and keeps me afloat every time. And there's a lot that goes on in politics. Like I said, the abuses, you campaign and there is an opponent who will just want, in campaigns what every opponent does is, Muruganda tuchita kuja kowaya, to make you annoyed such that you can either abuse or do anything that is unacceptable. There is betrayal that the person you are seated with in the meetings planning for your campaign is also sitting in the other meetings. These are practically what we go through. My colleagues know it. That your chief campaign manager is actually taking everything you plan to your opponent. But because you have that spiritual grounding, you get away, you pray to God to guide you, to handle and you complete the campaign in a very acceptable way. In office there are intrigues, and I know in many of you where you are working, there's also intrigue, and when you are a leader at national level, there are people around you. There are people around you who work with you, who also have their views and their interests. And if you are not grounded, they can actually divert you, because you rely on them. So when I was appointed the National Treasurer of NRM in 2014, a team came to me of people that I know and have worked with for years. And they are like, Namayanja, we cannot accept this. You are supposed to be the Secretary General, not the National Treasurer. And they were annoyed. For me, I was happy, but they were annoyed for me. And they said, you can't. And then they were very serious, coordinating and organizing. So I told them that for me, at the time in 2014, I said, knowing where I came from hawking pancakes to where I have reached, you want me to complain to God at 39 years why I am the National Treasurer of the ruling party? I said I will not do that. For me, this is huge. Knowing where I came from being below average, nearly rejected, from studying on bursaries, and then you have anything to complain really. So that happens when you have spiritual grounding, when you know that even when you are serving people, but that there is a God that you serve over and above everybody. And it has helped me, and that's why, and I believe many of you that are here, in all the offices you work in, that spiritual grounding that we get while here at Musdaa, at Makerere, builds us to be resilient, to be steadfast, and to know that whatever we do, there is a God that we serve and is for us. And if he's for us, then who is against us? I really want to thank the leadership of Musdaa for the progress so far made. It's massive progress. I was watching and I could not believe how far you have gone to a level of such projects. And I want to commit that we shall work together with you we shall meet again as the leadership and to know how we can support individually, but also different offices that we can work with to ensure that such projects are supported in one way or the other. But I want to say that I am all in, and I will move with you every step of the way. I thank you so much, and I say that for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Just a minute, Honorable Rose Namayanja. At this moment, let me invite the team for our thank you for just a minute, our guest of honor. Those gentlemen, they prepared something small here for us, and then we go down. Mr. Kakande Crispus, where are you? It is you we are waiting for. Oh, wonderful. What Honorable Rose Namayanja forgot to tell you is that in those years of ours, we were lucky to be called below average. Even me, I was in below average. But we had colleagues who were doing Bachelor of Arts, BAA. They were called the Bachelor of being around. I tell you, those were the days. But these gentlemen have something to say to the guest of honor, and you can pass it through there. The camera people.
Happy Sabbath, church. Happy Sabbath, church. Musdaa finalists, cohort 50. Happy Sabbath. Thank you. I'm standing here on behalf of the Musdaa finalist, cohort 50. And as you may know, this is a golden jubilee for this association. And we are very glad that we are the finalists this year. And as a way of appreciating our guest of honor, we came up with something nice, a portrait for you. Right Honorable Rose Namayanja. We are so glad. Maybe to say something small, Right Honorable Rose Namayanja is a mother to me. So we really take this much more, not lightly, that you're part of us here. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. A hand clap as our guest of honor lifts the podium. You know, when the guests of honor speak and they say, I am with you, you just give a bigger clap. Thank you, Right Honorable Rose Namayanja Nsereko. Now, they haven't talked about what she does, and she hasn't told you what she does. But I heard in rumors, I might be wrong, Deputy Secretary General of the ruling, richest, whatever. Just give your hand clap. Just bombard the office, you will see what comes out of that. And then when you have a whole of VC here, give a hand clap. Now, I know one of the busiest offices for people is the VC office. I'm sure they are waiting, and we need him to go. But VC, we are just giving you a gift. One of the gifts that we have in the Seventh-day Adventist Church is the music. Heavenly Helps, come on the front. You are going to sing the best song that you have in your album. Followed by Heavenly Gates. This is a gift because he has to go. Followed by Heavenly Gates, the best song that you have in your album. Followed by Chidayo. Then followed by Homeland Melodies. You are going to wind up as a gift. The music extravaganza is there, but we want the VC to let him move, and other people want to go. In that arrangement, we are planning to have our cake in front here. So the team will be arranging. The moment they finish, we come here, we have our cake, and we want to give the gift. One of the gifts we have is singing. They say it worldwide. Let us give you a gift of singing, VC, and then we see what next. In our arrangement, as they come, Mr. VC, our church is arranged that there must always be a church pastor where there is a congregation of Adventists. And there must be pastoral team and the elders team. So we represent until the GC. Here at Makerere University, we are glad the church sent a representative to Makerere University. We have a chaplain who takes care of this flock. Pastor Perez, you can wave to the... Maybe you come and say hi to the VC if you have never been to his office. That's the chaplain of Musdaa stationed here. He stays here. Yes. You're welcome. One time, I don't know whether it still stands, but one time, those days, they used to say, now, you people, you want help in Musdaa here. But who is your pastor? We used to have elders. When we used to have pastors, they would say, what are the papers? VC, allow me to announce to you that that gentleman, the pastor, has a master's in guidance and psychology. Eh? Guidance and counseling, guidance and psychology. Guidance and counseling. So the next time you want him as a lecturer, is available. We have no problem with that. You can clap for that. You know, sometimes they say, bring the chaplain to be on our payroll. So he qualifies now. And our elder you had is the vice chancellor. We have the people now. Are we ready now? Is the second team ready? Make sure you are ready. We need the best as a present. Please.
To